I'm outside the Barrow County Detention Center, and coming up tonight, I'll tell you about two parents who were in custody after their 4-month-old child was taken to the hospital with multiple broken bones.
I spoke with an expert about resources for parents whose children might be in danger. Plus this.
Mayor Kelly Gertz told me that cash bail isn't the most effective incentive at getting people to their court date. How Athens-Clarke County plans to implement a better system coming up.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Good evening and welcome to Grady Newsource. I'm Majesty Bass.
And I'm Vera Hallam. Thanks for joining us.
Our top story tonight. For the second time in 2 months, a Barrow County infant is hospitalized with broken bones. In February, a couple was arrested for aggravated battery and child cruelty. At the end of March, a second couple was arrested for child cruelty. Grady Newsource reporter Brittany Paris is live in our newsroom. She spent today looking into the latest case.
Case of child abuse in Barrow County, a mother and a father were both charged with child cruelty. Children's Healthcare of Atlanta called the Barrow County Sheriff's Office about a 4-month-old who had multiple broken bones. The Barrow County Sheriff's Department responded to a phone call from the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta after the child was brought to the hospital with more than 20 broken bones. The Sheriff's Office investigated and quickly arrested the baby's father, Lewis Coleman Sr., on multiple charges. The child was taken into custody on March 28th, and his mother was taken into custody the very next day. The two of them are now currently right behind me in the Barrow County Detention Center. Coleman was charged with 26 counts of aggravated battery, criminal attempt to commit murder, and aggravated assault. The child's mother was charged with 4 counts of child cruelty after investigators were led to believe she may have known about the abuse. And this isn't the first case of suspected child abuse that the Sheriff's Office has investigated in recent months. Just this past February, I told you about 2 parents who were charged with child cruelty after the mother brought their 3-week-old baby to the Northeast Georgia Medical Center. Captain Corey Allman from the Barrow County Sheriff's Office sat down with me in February to talk about that case.
We were able to determine that the mother and father had something to do with the child's injuries.
Allman says he sees cases of neglect, but child abuse cases are uncommon in Barrow County, despite recent events. He told me, quote, "As far as injuries a child sustains from a parent or loved one, it's not common." Now, the investigation is still ongoing, and the court date has not been set for these parents just yet.
Brittany, how is the 4-month-old child doing?
Picture of the child, and it seemed to be that he's doing okay.
Thank you, Brittany.
These 2 cases of suspected child abuse made us wonder what kind of resources are available to those overwhelmed by parenting. I spoke with an expert about ways to get help. Works for Bright Paths of Athens. She says they help between 100 to 300 families every year through their different programs like Healthy Families, First Steps, Positive Parenting, and Community Education.
Honestly, I came just because I wanted to be able to use my degree. And so I was like, okay, well, that's the field. The job is open, applied for the job, and was able to get the job. But after staying here and being here, just again, seeing the difference that we've been able to make in the lives of children has really just been like, okay, this is where I really want to be and what I want to do. And so this is where I've been.
Bright Paths provides parenting support through home visitations, education, financial literacy, and even finding reliable sources of food. Programs like Healthy Families help increase school preparedness and improve social and emotional development. Bright Paths wants to keep kids out of the child welfare system by providing resources to help parents who face different obstacles. They're also the organization responsible for the pinwheel gardens popping up around Athens. The blue and silver pinwheel is the national symbol for Prevent Child Abuse America, but in the month of April, drivers around Athens will pass by multicolored versions of the pinwheel that are unique to Bright Paths. Bright Paths programs help resolve and minimize issues that could escalate into dangerous situations for children. We'll have information on our website, GradyNewsSource.com, about how you can connect with Bright Paths and see all the resources they have available for parents.
A new proposal before the Athens-Clarke County Commission will eliminate cash bail for minor offenses. Critics contend cash bail exploits the poor, who languish in jail though only accused of misdemeanors. Grady Newsource reporter Danny Terzer spoke to county officials about the proposed changes.
The Athens-Clarke County Commission and Mayor plan to eliminate bail for local ordinance violations.
We're talking about elimination of bail and bond for crimes, that are generally misdemeanor, non-violent, kind of non-problematic sorts of things.
Mayor Kelly Gertz also told me cash bail isn't the most effective incentive to get people to show up for their court date. The new system includes receiving a text message or an email on your cell phone to get a reminder to show up for your court date, similar to how it works for a prescription at a pharmacy. There are two main reasons for this change.
That's money that just is sort of leaving people's pockets that they'll never get back for, again, relatively minor charges.
Captain Tony Going says for those who cannot afford bail, they have no choice but to remain in jail, and this happens all the time. Gertz says the second reason for eliminating cash bail stems from research. A person released immediately is less likely to reoffend or commit new crimes. Goings believes people should get a second chance, but he has also seen them in and out of jail in a very short period of time.
A lot of the individuals that do come in and out of here are repeat offenders. I've seen them get out and come back in an hour, 24 hours.
A final vote will be taken in a few months. For Grady Newsource, I'm Danny Terzer.
But with this new system, old consequences will still remain. Gertz says those who choose to ignore the text reminders and fail to appear in court will be issued an arrest warrant.
It has been a nasty day and the rain won't stop anytime soon. Grady Newsource reporter Veronica Obey is live outside our studio with the storms we can expect to see tonight.
It's been raining on and off all day, but if you're like me, you're probably thankful you keep an umbrella with you always. The good news, however, is that this rain has provided us with a break from all that pollen. Let's go ahead and take a look at the live radar. We will continue to have rain well into this evening, and it will continue throughout the night and into tomorrow. We should see sunshine on Wednesday, but until then, keep your umbrellas handy. I'll be back in 15 minutes with your 5-day forecast. Back to you guys.
A historic rivalry.
But it's not what you think. UGA takes on a big rival, and yes, there's blood involved.
Hi, I'm Peter, and there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends. Come on in, help yourself to anything. That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit SaveTheFood.com.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Attention travelers. Next Tuesday, a major power outage will cause complete chaos throughout the city. Food, water, and phone service will be in short supply. There will likely be panic citywide. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
The infamous infamous UGA-Auburn rivalry is back again this week for something other than sports. Today, I visited Memorial Hall, where UGA Red Cross will try to take down Auburn in their annual blood drive.
UGA volunteers from various campus clubs are promoting the annual Blood Battle Blood Drive. This spring, UGA is in competition with Auburn to determine which school can reach its percentage pint goal. The UGA Red Cross has a blood battle with Georgia Tech in the fall, where UGA has always come out on top. However, in the spring, UGA came in second to Auburn last year. This year, UGA Red Cross hopes to win.
But yeah, for right now it's just Auburn, and that's enough for me to want to donate.
Okay, that's all. Lauren Schuster and other volunteers told me students start by signing in at the check-in table. They can fill in a medical questionnaire online by using a barcode service or do it in person. Then, if they are cleared to give blood, they wait until they can get set up to donate. The disaster committee chair told me how many people UGA Red Cross expects to see today.
We're probably looking to have around 40 or 50.
He also told me he believes donating blood is important because it can help those that were impacted by natural disasters like the fires out west.
By the fires in California. In the past, we've had like hurricanes, like Hurricane Harvey in Houston, so obviously there's people who face emergency situations.
The blood drive will continue to Wednesday at 5 p.m. For Grady Newsource, I'm Majesty Bass.
And if you give blood, be sure to share your photos with us on Twitter or Facebook at Grady Newsource with the hashtags GoDogs and GoBloodDrive.
Netflix, Spotify, Apple, and net neutrality are also hot topics on social media. Grady Newsource reporter Donovan Harris tells us why these three tech giants are making headlines.
Veer, there's a lot going on in the tech world today. In fact, Netflix has disabled AirPlay. That means that if you have a mobile device or an iPhone, that means that you can no longer stream Netflix movies to your Apple TV. Let me show you what I'm talking about back here. So Netflix posted on their help page that AirPlay is no longer supported for use with Netflix due to technical limitations. And this isn't the only drama that's going on in the tech world right now. Spotify has launched a website called Time to Play Fair. Spotify is suing Apple, calling the company a monopoly. Spotify is upset because Apple takes 30% of Spotify users' subscription fees if they upgrade to premium through Apple, and Spotify thinks this is unfair to its customers. The fight is taking place in Europe because Europe's antitrust laws may prove more favorable for Spotify. Now, back at home, net neutrality is back in the news. Democrats are set to vote on new net neutrality laws tomorrow through House Resolution 1644. Now, you may remember back in 2017, the FCC repealed Obama-era regulations about net neutrality. Net neutrality is the principle that all internet data must be treated fairly, so you can't be charged differently depending on your internet browsing habits. The FCC oversees these regulations, but in 2017, the FCC decided to do away with the rules. House Resolution 1644, if it's passed, will reinstate the Obama-era regulations that says that you must treat all internet traffic fairly. We want to know if you have been affected by net neutrality. Let us know on Twitter at Grady Newsource. I'm Donovan Harris.
I'm Luke Gamble. Coming up in sports, Georgia baseball is off to a historic start.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
Okay.
And now, sports.
I'm Luke Gamble with your Northeast Georgia Sports. The UGA gymnastics team has punched their ticket to the NCAA championships after scoring a season-high 198.050 out of a possible 200 points at the Athens Regional. 8th-ranked Georgia finished the regional behind top-ranked Oklahoma. The Bulldogs defeated Kentucky, Missouri, and Iowa State on Friday with a score of 197.3 to advance to the regional finals. The Bulldogs were led by sophomore Marissa Oakley on Saturday, who scored a perfect 10 on bars. Oakley is the first gym dog since 2009 to earn a perfect score in the event. Georgia and Oklahoma will compete at the NCAA National Championship in Fort Worth, Texas on April 19th and 20th. Georgia's baseball team moved up to number 2 today in the national rankings after winning a big SEC series against Vanderbilt. The series win marked the first time since 2008 that the Bulldogs have won their first 4 conference series. Georgia's Zach Christopher earned his second save of the year Sunday as the Bulldogs defeated Vanderbilt 3-1. Pitching guided the way for the Bulldogs as the starter Tony Losi earned SEC Pitcher of the Week honors after only allowing 1 hit through 7 innings. The junior struck out 5 batters to earn the win and give the Bulldogs their best start since 2009.
It's been a long time coming, and Georgia's at the spot that Georgia should be.
The Bulldogs are now 26-1 on the season when scoring 3 or more runs in a game. The second inning proved to be pivotal on Sunday as Cheney Rogers hit a double to score a run, followed by a single from Randon Jernigan to score Rogers. This was Georgia's first series win over Vanderbilt since 2008, which is also the last time that the Georgia Bulldogs went to the College World Series. The series win pushes the Bulldogs' record to 27-6 and 9-3 in SEC play. The Bulldogs had to bounce back in the series after losing Game 1 3-2 in extra innings on Friday. Head coach Scott Strickland said having a veteran team helps when falling behind early in a weekend series.
And our team is really, really tough. They're resilient, and I think it showed up.
Strickland said his team can't spend too much time thinking about their historic start. They need to concentrate on the next game. The players know their potential.
We know what we're capable of doing. We have one of the best teams in the country, and we all know we are, and just we got to go out there and keep playing with a chip on our shoulder and keep proving to everybody we are the best team in the country.
The Bulldogs will take the diamond again tomorrow night at Foley Field against Georgia Tech at 7 p.m. Georgia Tech won the first matchup this season between the two teams 11-2. Alyssa DiCarlo is already the career leader in home runs at UGA, but she's continuing to pad her stats. The senior became the fastest Bulldog to hit 20 home runs in a season on Sunday. DiCarlo also broke the Bulldogs' career extra base hits record by getting her 122nd against Texas A&M. DiCarlo also owns the all-time record for RBIs at Georgia with 243. Georgia's women's tennis team is 1 win away from clinching its 10th Southeastern Conference regular season championship. The number 1 ranked Bulldogs defeated Arkansas and Missouri 4-0 on the road last weekend to maintain their perfect record. The Bulldogs, who are now 19-0, return home this weekend to face Kentucky and Vanderbilt. With a win over Kentucky on Friday, the Bulldogs will clinch the regular season SEC championship. I'm Luke Gamble, and that's your Northeast Georgia Sports.
I'm Veronica Obey with your weather. I'll tell you how much rain you can expect tonight throughout tomorrow. Coming up next.
Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Is the seat supposed to be forward-facing or rear-facing? Did they move to a booster seat too soon? It may be too late to check when you're on the road. Unfortunately, you're on the couch. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Don't think you know. Know you know.
I'm a single mother, and I was the main one working, so I never thought that I could go back to school, you know? My sister, my mother, everybody wanted to help me with my kids. I could not have gotten my diploma without my family.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90-mile-per-hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
The weather.
I'm Veronica Obey here with your Grady Newsource weather. We'll be looking at tonight's forecast as well as severe storm outlook and your 5-day weather forecast. So for tonight, we are seeing relatively decent temperatures. However, it will be raining throughout. And this will continue into tomorrow, unfortunately. And we'll see that by 9 a.m. it'll be 66, and by 3 it'll hit 73, but again, it will still be raining. For your 5-day weather forecast, we are seeing some pretty decent temperatures throughout the week. By Wednesday, it will not be raining anymore with a high of 78. However, by Friday, we will see rain yet again, but a high of 78. I'm Veronica Obey with your Grady Newsource weather.
April 7th through 13th is National Library Week, and coming up, I'll tell you how the Athens-Clarke County Library plans to celebrate.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Like here.
A teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys, preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey. Ready for the...
Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where do cats go on vacation? New York.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Every April since 1958, libraries across the country have celebrated National Library Week. Grady Newsource reporter Sarah Hammond tells us Athens-Clarke County has plenty of resources beyond books.
More than just books.
The Athens-Clarke County Public Library is celebrating National Library Week. The mayor made it official with this signed proclamation. The 5 libraries in Athens-Clarke County had over 450,000 visitors last year. Mayor Kelly Gertz signed this proclamation to encourage residents to go out to their libraries and help that number continue to grow. Rhiannon Eads, the public information officer for the library, says this year's theme, Library Strong, gives them the opportunity to showcase all of their resources.
We're just trying to highlight the fact that, your library helps your community be stronger.
Eads says they help enrich the community with infant story time, computer classes, and resources for people looking for jobs or starting a small business. One of the things that excites Eads the most about the library, how inclusive it is.
Our vision statement for the Athens Regional Library System is engaging communities, exceeding expectations. So we provide resources to everyone in the community. It doesn't matter where you're from or who you are or what kind of job you have or where you live. We have resources available to you.
Another way they bring the community together is through the annual spring book sale. Starting Wednesday, they will be selling thousands of gently used books, CDs, and audiobooks. It lasts until Saturday. Eads encourages people in the community to get to the library this week and take advantage of all they have to offer. For Grady Newsource, I'm Sarah Hammond.
Mayor Kelly Gertz wants to encourage people in the community to see what's new at their libraries and interact with their librarians. That's all for tonight. Thanks for watching Grady Newsource.
We'll see you back here again on Wednesday at 5. Good night.
Grady Newsource is a student production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Is your family in need of more quality time together?
Hello, I'm Dr. Spruce. Nature is best enjoyed together. So bring the whole family to discover all the bonding and stress-reducing benefits parks and forests have to offer. Visit discovertheforest.org and trade in phone time for family time.
Birds, squirrels, chipmunks, grass, worms, bugs, trees, rocks, and other objects in nature cannot talk. If you'd like to have a conversation while visiting nature, you will need to bring humans along. We strongly recommend starting with your family.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Hello guys, welcome to Monday's post show. My name is Sarah Bertolini. I was the senior production manager today. Kira was our director. It was her first time directing, which is awesome. Yay. Cool.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say?
I thought it went really well, but thanks to everyone else who helped. Definitely had a couple missed punches, but that was okay. I think we rolled well with it. But yeah, I think it was good.
Cool. Well, thank you. called and she's like, how long do I have to be up here? I'm like, yeah, like a couple of seconds. I think overall today went really well, really smoothly. To the point where I didn't actually really take any notes. So that's good. I know, right? Right? Weather and sports both finished pretty early, and we got 2 to 4 out of the way pretty quick as well. So thank you for that. Kira did a great job for her first time directing. Yay, so exciting. There were a few missed punches, some of which, just like, you know, being a new director, there's some like nuances about the TriCaster that you're not super familiar with. It's a whole new technology, all new software, and if you're not used to that, sometimes, you know, things just happen. And that's pretty much all we had today. But thank you guys for being prepared and on time and dropping things in the correct place. That was great. Cool. I don't have anything. So.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you, Bert.
Did you have anything for me? Oh. Sorry. No? Cool?
Not really.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great.
All right. Madison was our producer today.
Yeah, I don't have like too much to harp on or anything. I thought today was a decent day. All of our packages were in on time, if not a little after time, which is good. I think if anything, I've struggled a little bit with story pitches. Just, you know, our lead was obviously the Barrow County, but after that it was kind of a toss-up. And then, but I appreciate Brittany and Danny tackling like the hard stories, because I know Danny, I was like, I know. Like I gave you the story and I was like, I know, but it came together really well and I'm glad we did it. Brittany, same thing. I know stuff like that's hard to do, but I enjoyed your package and all the graphics. Let's see, other notes I had. Donovan loved the creativity. You know, it's just something new that we haven't done before, and I really enjoyed it, and Christina for helping him out on that. My one thing, I think like we could have like stingered a little bit between the stories, because they all kind of like, we kind of got confused in the control room where the start of one was and where it finished, and like moving on to something separate, but I really liked it and enjoyed it. Luke, I really enjoyed your package. It was just visually great, and you do great on sports. Sarah, we just talked about your teas a little bit briefly. There was just like, it was dropped in super clips, but should have been in TriCaster or something, but it's okay. Stuff happens, and it wasn't too bad. We were just missing a coming up, so I can sleep at night with that. Veronica, great on weather. I thought you were really natural. We used your 1 minute, and I thought it was great, even though you said, I remember you saying you liked your 2 minute. And I liked the radar. Other than that, I might be forgetting some things, but I thought it was a good day, and I appreciate everyone's hard work. Yeah.
Good job. Thank you. Digital producer,
So today
Donovan Harris.
Producer. So I have some notes from Dr. Bright. So I guess overall a really good job today at getting your stories in on time, I guess on the broadcast, but also sending things back. Now Dr. Bright did say that in terms of like your digital stories, that stories are cleaner and better if you turn them in. Those people who do not really turn their stories in regularly, there are some things that you should practice on a little bit more, but for those people who do send in their digital stories, those lists of critiques that she has been shortened. Good on sending back elements today. I know that Brittany sent something back today. I sent up teas. What sent things back today, Christina?
So Brittany sent back, you sent back the video of the outside, but I actually ended up using your pre-tease on Twitter, and that actually did well. So actually, I think if you push that out to your followers specifically, we'll get even more engagement because they want to see you. And other than that, I think we got, did anybody else send me anything back? I know I got some pictures for Majesty, and I think that's all we ended up doing. So we do need to send more stuff back because it does play well to help tease our stories. I put up a thought from you from the other day. So yeah, actually we put up Luke's thing first thing in the morning.
Yeah, and we know
Sports.
It's difficult, like just getting things out. You know, you're busy in the field. It's tough sometimes.
I have a quick question. So this morning I know we talked about how not a lot of people watch the videos in the articles. I just finished my article. Am I supposed to upload my videos still into it? Or what is
Well, I think
Dr.
you have
Bright
to write your article in a way that you have to decide how how you write your article sort of dictates what you're going to include. So if, for instance, you want to include a sound bite with, you didn't have many sound bites, you just had that old sound bite.
Right, but like, should I include my entire package? That's what I
Well,
normally do.
she was
doesn't
really,
want that.
what we were really talking about was pieces of it. People just don't have the patience.
Elements. So she wants small elements,
Right.
not the whole thing.
Like when we did Devon Gales the other day, I don't remember Devon, who did Devon? You did Devon. So when you did the piece online, as I recall, we didn't use any sound with him. Right, but I don't know that we heard from him at all in the online piece. Like a SOT. No, just like a sound bite. Right, but I think that one would have lent itself to hearing from him. So some of you have compelling interviews, you don't today. You could put up your package. Depends on how much, other stuff you have.
I think honestly, I feel like honestly, what I had today was better as a digital article in general because of I had so many quotes from the cast that wouldn't go on camera. So I have it all in there. But I think for the future, I just wanted to know, like, basically making it like piecemeal almost.
Right.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I mean, you're done? Anything? Do you have anything else?
Yeah, I was just going to say that our stuff actually, so our poll is what did on Twitter today for the March Madness game. So thank you guys for, continuing to push that out to other people. And I can just give you guys the results. As of right now, 23% think that Texas Tech is going to win, and 77% think Virginia's going to go home tonight with the win. That's exciting.
How many votes did we have? Do you know?
23.
23. Okay. Well,
that's better than 0.
We have a class of 12, so we know we exceeded that.
Not everybody voted, so.
Yeah.
If you didn't vote, I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
Retweet so that way your friends can vote.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then
Why did you have any? You had something else?
Yeah.
Oh,
Veronica's weather on IG. Dr. Brett also suggested some innovative things maybe for Wednesday that we should look at. So things using tools like Adobe Spark, Headliner Video, Headliner Social, things like that. Also producing content for YouTube specifically. So think about our demographic, the age of 35-year-old male and up. Male 35, 8 years, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. So content for that audience, not necessarily stereotypical things, but content for that platform. And then also captioned versions of our video as well. So yeah, we have some cool things planned for Wednesday that we hope y'all like. Okay.
Thank you, Don.
I don't get the introduction. Okay, Wyatt was our associate producer today. And
how did Wyatt do?
Wyatt did pretty well.
Wyatt did do well. I forgot to give you a shout out. I am so sorry, Wyatt. Oh my gosh.
I appreciate it.
Like,
well, Wyatt's giving himself a shout out.
But he deserves it. He literally does.
Okay, so just a couple of notes because Maddie covered pretty much everything I had. But I thought both the live shots were really well done with Brittany in here and then Veronica at the garage. Like they both looked really good, and I think it is nice when they're pretty close to in-house. Like I think that just makes for a better product. And then my other one was just that I thought even though it was a Monday and everybody's switching into new stuff, like we did a pretty good job getting everything like done relatively quickly because we were all kind of around the 4:30 deadline, and the only thing I had to do was I just had to throw in some lower thirds, which was good. Like,
thank you.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it. Like that's fine. And anchors especially, like you got to get into the studio. So if you're not done by 4:30, we can take care of little things. So yeah, that wasn't a big deal. And those were the two things I had. So
okay, thank you, Wyatt.
Anytime.
All right, so I think when the morning started out, we had some good ideas, and we struggled a little bit with a couple of stories. I think, again, we know how much it helps to do some planning ahead of time, particularly if you're an anchor in an MMJ, to set up as much as you can ahead of time helps. So I think those were the stories really actually we struggled on, and we had to kind of, though you set up a story, but it really didn't turn on the charter school vouchers.
We just decided not to do it, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we had said it hadn't passed. Like, we already knew that it hadn't passed, and
yeah, we were
wondering
sort of
what the news
struggling with
today
what's
was.
ahead now, I
Wasn't that we
think,
just
yeah.
didn't like it.
Did you ever talk to that guy?
Yeah, we talked. They still have the forum tonight, and then later on in the day, like some private school, like principals said they would talk to me, but I'll just.
It was kind of late.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be hard, I think. All right, so I'll come back to your other story in a minute. I think that one trend I sort of noticed today was putting the daily, the topical stuff too low in stories. You want to really try to get the today up higher. So I noticed this in a couple of things, and I'll come up to those. I thought the anchors had good energy today. Kudos to the anchors. I thought, Maddie, you did a really nice job producing, well organized. Just watch and change those anchors as you drop. If you're producing, you drop a story, you got to flip all those anchors around. Otherwise, we would have had somebody reading a million in a row.
Everything.
Yeah, so it's just little things to look for. But we talked about some producer strategies, you and I and Wyatt and Savannah a little bit. So, but I thought we had the right lead on the injured child, and I think Brittany was perfect that you were able to do that story. You did a great job last time. You knew the backstory on the previous child. That police, the sheriff or whomever had told you before, I've never seen a case like this, and here we are a month later with another case. So that was pretty compelling. I think the setup was pretty good with the VO, with the map. I'm sorry, not the map, the calendar, where we circled the dates. So we had a little bit of something going on, mispunching or something, or maybe the video ran out, I'm not sure. But it was a good attempt. And I think one thing we learned today is we can always cold cut with double boxes. We don't have to do that extended push in, pull out, which I didn't frankly realize until today that, because I do like double boxes when they work. And if you watch any network, you'll see they're just cold cutting. Nobody's pushing in, pulling out. So now that we know that, let's go forward. If you want to use them, but cold cut with them. And I think, was it your idea to have a question? So that was good. The back and forth was fine. I thought the pre-tease was good. I thought your stand-up was really good, and the pre-tease, great energy. We looked at two. We picked the one we liked the best, right? It was perfect. What was perfect about it was attributed, right? It's a crime story. Can't say this on your own. We got to be very careful, and it was well done. I thought on the pre-tease on Vera's story, Vera had to run to get an interview tonight, we would see Vera talking to the expert, sort of a two-shot. But we didn't. We just stayed on camera there. So I guess either could work, but I kind of envisioned we talked to an expert about resources for parents. We would see those two people. The Barrow, and then I thought your stand-up tease was fine, Danny, on the bail, no bail. So I think on the child abuse package, it was pretty good. I thought, as I said, the setup was good. I think that, you had showed this sort of old school phone, Brittany, in your pre-pro that nobody uses anymore. I know. I've had this back and forth with other students. It's on your iPhone as an icon, that phone, the old phone. But really, this should be the phone we show on a graphic, right?
Yeah, that was like the last graphic I was making, and I was rushing to drop it. But the only thing that I was thinking was, I was like struggling with, I almost shot a video of a phone because I was struggling with doing an iPhone because they called the sheriff's department. So does the sheriff's department use iPhones? Like, I just felt weird about it. So I was like, let me just use this like generic phone graphic. Honestly, I should go back and like change that entire graphic because it's terrible.
I would change it.
That was like my last thing that I had to like drop quickly.
Yeah. Because you're good with graphics. And
yeah, it was terrible. Like I honestly cringed when I rewatched it over, but.
Right. I don't know that I would care whether it was. I'm just looking for a cell phone. Right. It doesn't matter to me whose brand it is or anything. So I think that would have looked a little better. But what we showed was you've been devoted to this story, and I thought that was good by bringing in the fact that in February I talked to the guy. And
it's kind of hype because he gave me his personal number now, so I never have to deal with waiting there for him again.
Okay, great.
So if we have another child abuse story, hit me
up.
It's awful, it happens.
So the one thing that I think Brittany struggled with, though, and this was to my point at the top, was she had the old case in first. In February, you may remember something to that effect. Well, we want the new stuff in the front of every package, right? So any package you do, you want to start in the today and the now. So, so we flipped it, basically, and we brought what happened now up to the top and moved that down as sort of context and perspective. And with Vera, her package also, which was resources for parents, we wondered what's out there, which I thought was a good story. I thought she did a good job. Again, she was sort of starting with the pinwheels, which we had covered with Luke a week ago, and you know, the sort of what I would call the, I don't know, sort of the less, the softer part of that story, you know. And so I sent her back to the drawing board, and she rewrote it, bringing up the resources for parents who are stressed out, if you watch that story. So that just made it a little harder, and then she put in about the pinwheels and all further down, which is fine. I don't believe that every viewer is watching every newscast and that they're going to say, oh, Luke talked about the pinwheels, you know? Anyway, so I thought that was good. It was, you know, I think we were putting out some helpful information, frankly, on a terrible story. And, you know, if we can do that, or you can do that in your careers, you know, that's a plus, right? You know, that's what we should be doing, I think, I think that's the social aspect of our jobs as journalists. I think the cash bail was an interesting story. We did a little bit of rewriting. It took a little bit of time, right? And so one of the things was, as Danny introduced this idea of there are 2 reasons for this proposal. Well, you got to hold that viewer's interest sort of for those 2 reasons. Like, it was hard for me to wrap my head around reason 1 and where was reason 2. Is this part of reason 2? Where's reason 2? So that by the time we got to reason 2, we sort of had to state it, right? The second reason, because otherwise you sort of lose track. But I thought, you know, it worked out, you know, okay. And it's an important story. Your stand-up with the phone just went by a little too quickly. I think you like sort of were rushing through it, I felt, but I thought it was a good idea to hold up the phone like you did.
The stand-up I rushed through, or holding up the phone?
Well, it just all went by like a blur, and I just thought you could have slowed it down a little, you know, and it was a good for you to hold up the phone. I just would have lingered on it a little longer. So that's how I thought about that. All right, first weather, Veronica, you looked fabulous. You looked unbelievable. I don't know if you had anyone lighting you out there, or was just the light?
Jim.
Yeah, Jim. Shout out to Jim.
Oh my God, Jim!
Her
lighting was amazing.
He definitely made sure. He kind of got mad at me when I had my umbrella, because at first I was gonna hold it like. It was raining when we were setting up, and I was going to just like hold it. And he was like, no, it's going to mess up the lighting. You don't have to stand in the rain. It can just be behind you. So I was like, okay, Jim.
But it didn't look like it was actually raining, was it, when you were on?
It was like
sprinkling.
Yeah, sprinkling. So that's when I was like, I'm going to not use the umbrella. And then he came back and was like, that's better. So.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, did y'all see her? She looked radiant. You know.
You were really good on camera, too. Like, I don't know, weather's your thing. Like,
yeah.
It was convincing.
Yeah, you did a really nice job. But kudos to Jim.
Yeah,
you know, because who wouldn't want lighting like that, right?
It really was.
Every now and then, you know, it's like it really pops. I mean, that's what good lighting does, right? Even if you're interviewing people and you take the time to set up lights, you can really make them, you know, look good. Yeah, so anyway. So then we hit the tease about the blood drive and the bad blood, and I thought it was a good tease. We kind of worked together, you know, about it, and, you know, and there will be blood. I thought it was good and all, but we never saw it. And I was sort of thinking, well, why didn't we see any video? But I'd rather see video and teases than not. But actually, in the case of that one, I felt like, oh, it was more mysterious to not say what this rivalry is about and say, oh, and there will be blood, you know, spilled or whatever it was. So I thought that worked out. The blood drive, I thought, oh, her audio was perfect until the very near the end where you got into that area where that fan was blowing.
Yeah.
And then the audio went crazy.
Yeah, I also didn't get to double check the audio, so that's probably why I missed it.
Yeah, so you were just singing along there, so you could see that you're making a lot of progress on your audio, but you got to check because, you know. So, and I think watch those, you know, when you're doing these long pans back and forth of the people who are holding the signs, you know, go tight on some of those signs, you know, or to a table or some paraphernalia or something if it's there, a Red Cross sign. But I felt we were doing a lot of back and forth. I don't know, maybe you didn't have it. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have many like table setups out there. They just had their signs, so I just kind of had them like walk around.
But that room was where? That was inside.
Wait, are you talking about the people holding the signs?
Yeah, I'm talking about the people holding the signs.
Okay, that was outside at Tate, and then the room was here at Memorial Hall.
Okay, where they were giving blood, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you had a lot of opportunity, I think, there just to use some pictures.
Okay.
So you didn't have so many of these sweeping pans of the guys outside.
Also, a problem that I had, the director there, or like their marketing media person, wouldn't let me get close to the people that were like taking blood or whatever. So that's why those shots had to be wide.
Okay.
So they had like a barrier, like tape on the ground, and I couldn't step past that.
I see. Okay, so that's an issue. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, the digital hit that my friend Donovan did, very ambitious. A lot going on there. A lot of walking and talking and showing and pointing. I thought it was pretty good. I thought Nancy Pelosi's floating head coming in was a little weird because we didn't reference her directly. We just said the Democrats, and then her head pops up like a thought bubble over you.
I was thinking about Ms. Pelosi.
Yeah, it would have been better if you had looked and gone, "Oh, Nancy." Yeah, but you know, just to either have referenced her or something. I do think. You did a good job, but I think with more time, there's probably a better way to illustrate net neutrality. I mean, with everything that's out there, and than some of these long, scrolling through web pages. I don't know how you feel. Are you still mic'd? Well, we can get you a mic.
No, I think
but
you're right. I mean, for the first
time. That's the right answer. Go on.
I think for the first time to do something like that, I think, we know what to grow from.
Yeah, I agree. I liked all the movement in it.
Yeah. I took that tip from like 11 Alive is watching how Tegna does that kind of stuff, moving through newsrooms. So I think that's something that we should continue to try to attempt to do.
Absolutely, yeah. So maybe Wednesday you'll have another opportunity.
Similar. And Christina helped a lot with that.
I was just going to say.
Oh, yeah, she was shooting it, right?
And I was going to say, if anybody else wants to, like Donovan, like clearly is the first person to do this, and it was amazing. It was really cool, like watching him walk through, and I feel like that broke up the show a little bit more to make you feel like you were almost like with him as he's trying to explain something to you directly, instead of feeling like you're watching a general package story. You know what I'm saying? That's the feeling I got from watching it back. But just be wary that you're going to have to memorize your lines. And he did a great job of literally, because there was a lot of lines, pages of script, and he did a great job of like turning that out very quickly. And like you said, if we had more time, because I was watching him while he was editing, he could have definitely done a little bit more.
Let me ask you, did you use any of these lights that are on now?
No, so next time we will do that for sure.
He was a little dark, and at one point he was like in a little hole, and like he was in a cave of his own device, that he had invented himself in his apartment. I don't know. It got a little, the lighting. So you have all these lights, and maybe you can use them.
So next time we'll just change the lights inside the newsroom, and if you're in here producing, you'll be all right.
Yeah. So anyway, but I thought, it was well done and very ambitious. I thought, Luke, your sports piece I thought was really good. With our struggle with Luke's sports piece a little bit was just that it felt like, a little bit like not a story so much as, highlight, not even highlights. It was like, what would you say? It was just like,
I don't know, but I mean, like going back.
You had all this video to work with.
Well, yeah, going back and like thinking about it, and after we talked about it, and then just putting it all together. I mean, I think ultimately I just wasn't writing to the video I had. I was just writing, and so I wasn't really thinking about like I knew in my head that I wanted to use the video at the very beginning of the last pitch and the ground out, and then the team coming on the field to celebrate, but I wasn't writing like I wanted to use that video. So I guess just like sitting down and talking about it and just kind of rearranging things definitely helped a lot. And then I think the video matched pretty well.
Yeah, it did.
Just because I was worried. I mean, then I was actually thinking about, okay, well, I know I have the video of Georgia scoring 2 runs, and I know I have like plenty of videos of Tony Losi throwing a strikeout and that kind of thing. So I don't know. I feel like after sitting down and talking it out, it kind of helped me because I was more focused on the video rather than just what I was writing about.
And this idea that pitching won the game, right? And just, so it didn't feel like, what wallpaper video is? Wallpaper video is just when you just cover with anything. And no matter what you're talking about, you're not really referencing it specifically. So I think you ultimately wrote specifically to the pictures that you had, and you had a lot to work with. It was nice, crisp video. You had nice interviews, so anyway, I think it worked out well.
The one thing I will say is I completely forgot the SOT for the T's. I don't know if you called that or not, but
I didn't write it down, but
well,
we'll have to punish you. Did you not do the T's at all, or not include the SOT?
I said my part, and
you
then
just
it was
didn't include the
supposed to have
SOT.
the quote from the player, and
right.
I completely forgot to cut it and drop it in small trees. So,
yeah, but I thought it was good that you shot all of that, and you had great stuff to work with. Look, how many sports stories do we have, or stories in general, where we have really good video to work with? So I thought that was good. And Luke had asked me the other night, last night I guess, he wanted for his reel, for any of you who want to do sports, he wanted something a little harder, right? Less featurey. And so anyway, that was part of the motivation for doing that. So I thought that was good. I thought you did a really good job anchoring. You were the part. You felt like you belonged there, and the delivery was solid. And I thought all the anchoring was good today. But yeah, so good job, and I hope that satisfied what you wanted to have. Yeah, for your reel. I don't know what you have in mind for Wednesday. Have you figured that out? What was it again?
Well, the women's, it's
yes.
Masters Week, but the women's golf team
yes.
also has like their home tournament.
Are you going to their
weekend.
Practice?
I'm talking to the SID right now, but
okay.
potentially going to go interview the coach tomorrow morning.
Good.
So I just don't know if the team's going to be practicing then, so I'm trying to figure out that part for B-roll and that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, and they might have some video. Okay, so great. I thought your weather, Veronica, your main weather was fine. It was good. You were comfortable, giving the information. That was your first time doing weather, you said? Did you do the clicker, or someone else did it for you?
I ended up doing the clicker for all the weather, or that did not make any sense, my brain. For each segment that I did, the clicker, I realized that sometimes I'd be pointing it at the camera instead of at the computer, so I'd be ready to go, and I'd have to kind of stumble a little bit, but then, other than that, it was fine.
Okay, it seemed fine. The library teas and your stand-up were noisy.
Yes.
Why is that? Because I saw you had your lavalier mic.
I don't know. I think there was something with the mics with the camera that I checked out.
She's a mic.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it was just a mic problem that I didn't realize, and I tried to fix it once I got back, and I tried to put the noise reduction thing, and it made me sound like I was in a tunnel.
Right.
And so it was.
We'd already had Donovan in the tunnel by that point.
Yeah, so we had both of us in a tunnel.
Be repetitive. Yeah, I thought, look, as a fallback story, I'm interested in libraries. Is it a great TV story? Not really. Does it? But I like. Look. I wanted to know, when are they having those books for sale? Probably the only one. But anyway, at the end of your package. But I thought you did the best you could with the video you had of illustrating that they have all these services for people. And for those who don't know, they have it. So we'll see how it does on social.
The stuff that they offered, so
yeah, they do offer a lot.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, but that was also kind of a fallback story. So we really were struggling. I don't know if you heard from the reptile folks, if that can be done Wednesday.
I heard back from them. I haven't had a chance to respond to them,
okay.
but because he said today he couldn't do it till 3.
Okay.
So I'm gonna see if I can get them for Wednesday. Either if I do it because I'm still assignment whatever. But
I think
we need to set it up.
Thing to you is that whatever you do will help you in the long run.
So I'll set that up for Wednesday.
Yeah. This is the story about this first ever genetic altering.
Well, the only problem, I don't, based on the email that when he responded to me, I don't know if they're allowed to show me the actual, he's like, I can show you lizards, I can't show you the albino lizards.
Well, what if you show outtakes from Jurassic Park?
I should do that. I think that'll work.
Okay, we're not really doing that. That was just but they have photos. Yeah.
Okay, and with that, have a good night. See you guys
that's a great note.
Maybe we'll see an albino or something. I don't know.